Had enough. Talking. For the last 20 years we've been attacked by the political classes telling us how to farm in the countryside. Our family have looked after the countryside for over 500 years. We don't need townies to tell us how to farm. We're now being paid to stop growing food and grow wildflowers. It's insanity. And we're thinking of ceasing our production after 500 years.
Well, very good 1st of April morning. 1st of April 2024 already. It's kind of an in-between day weather-wise. It was raining at first. Overcast with some sun rays peeping through the clouds. And it certainly warmed up from when I was walking the dogs first thing in the morning. I've sorted my microphone foam out, which went AWOL on my last journey. I had loads of audio all the way from when I made the stop on the side of the road to the Dalesford Organic Farm, and then I had some audio on between the Dalesford and between the Jeremy Clarkson Diddley Squat Farm, but it's all gone down the chute because as soon as that foam comes off the microphone cover, even though it's inside my hat, the sound just goes to pot. And so that's my theory on why my Drift Ghost Pro camera was also not doing the job with audio, because I thought it was a camera, but I think it was down to the fact that I didn't think I needed the foam, because the little foam I had gotten lost. I thought I could get away with not having one. Anyway, enough about that. You heard what the farmer said there at the outset, and it's a very dire picture for farmers in not just the UK but everywhere really. And it does seem like there is an evil kind of undercurrent that is trying to get rid of farming. Am I right on that? Let me know in the comments what you think. Obviously the farmers that have been protesting at Westminster and near the docks would agree. So why is it taking me down this sandy lane? Interesting. Never been down this bit before. Is this an extension of the other sandy lane where I board my dog? So that evil undercurrent of globalist elites who want to get rid of farming. If you look at who's buying up all the farmland in the US, and it's, to take food away and turn food into kind of like an Amazon situation where you've got one huge company in charge of it all, or maybe a select few that are in the club that they want to use their Monsanto GMOs and their fertilizers. I think the fertilizers and the move to organic is one where, oh yeah, I am going literally right past my dog boarder's house, where I bought my dogs from, my Labrador and my Cocker Spaniel when she was alive. Anyhow, so yeah, to turn farming into a big corporate thing run by huge globalist companies, and I recognise these. I've seen these people when I've walked my dogs before. And get rid of the farms that have been handed down father to son, or maybe daughter, for maybe 500 years, like that farmer said, and plus in some cases hundreds of years, shall we say. But yeah, some way to go to actually convince more farmers to go organic. There's no organic shops around here anymore. The Antrobus farm shop was the only one. That was the subject of my first episode of my Odysee, only to discover, because I hadn't been there in a while, which is bad, but just fallen in the habit of buying organic from the supermarket where it's cheaper, I guess. But yeah, it was closed. So that, as far as I know, is the only one, except one possible lead south of Coventry, which isn't coming to much so far, some kind of cooperative farm. So to get to the nearest one, unless you want to go to Dalesford, which, don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful ride, but you're talking the best part of an hour. Well, the next best thing is around 42, 48 minutes. Now there's 2 organic farms in Leicestershire, so we could do one of those being Warwickshire, but alas. There's a manor farm, but that is closed today. We're on the bank holiday Monday here in the UK. And then there's a Pix organic farm. The manor organic seems to have more of a shop. I think the Pix is more oriented towards farmers markets, especially the London farmers markets, which is awesome, looking at their website. So today there's 2 risks I'm taking. One, that maybe there isn't a farmer shop as such, although looks like there is, because they seem to give you the option of collect or delivery, so don't know if you have to pre-order your produce first. And the second risk is actually that the whole thing might be closed today. It's bank holiday Monday, but again, I had no clues from their website that it was. And I did wash my bike after the recent trip on Friday to Clarkson Farm. I'm gonna have to wash it again today. Look at this road. I've got the GoPro on high definition because the journey's quite lengthy today, and you can forward wind straight to the farm footage if that's what interests you more than the actual me talking gibberish and the ride. And okay, where this is taking me towards Small Lane, and I really didn't have to come this way round. Actually, I don't exactly know where it's taking me, but I'm just going to follow it anyway. We've got an 11:20 arrival time, and planning on doing a bit of a circuit route today, because I've got some garden vouchers, because we have to pay for our bio waste collection now from the council. And a small consolation they give you is some planters garden vouchers. Now that's only 20 minutes from my home in Tamworth, but from where I'm going it's about 50 minutes. It's about 48 minutes to get to Leicestershire, to the farm, about 50 minutes to get to the planters garden centre. Again, I think it's open today, but not certain. And then about 20 minutes home, so it's a big kind of circuit route. I did mean to check my tyre pressure. A couple of bikers out there. I did mean to check my tyre pressure. This is a really stupid way to come. I don't know why the sat nav took me all around there. However, a bit more visually interesting for you, the viewer of this video. So never mind, we're on the Small Lane now. Big limo right near to a load of fly tipping trash. So yeah, so doing a bit of a circuit. I think that's the intention. If after I get to Pix Farm, if I just feel like coming home, or if it's raining, then I might knock it on the head, but we'll see how it goes. I don't think I'm going to be able to talk this whole journey. I haven't really got too much to say other than you know, let's go and discover another organic farm, and then there'll be one more. This is actually episode 10 now, so I might finish on 11 or 12. I've actually got another trip to Milton Keynes this coming weekend. Should be able to squeeze a farm shop in there. Won't be organic, I don't think so. I'll look and see if there's any organic shops in Buckinghamshire near where my mum lives. I don't think there are. There could be. I think it's going to take me on the M6. I wonder, M6, M1, which won't be the most exciting route. Yeah, this took me in a really weird way. So yeah, and then I think I might knock it on the head and concentrate on my channel's core values, which is the violin world. I've got a big trip coming up in May to the heartland of where it all happened, the Renaissance and the great Italian violin makers Stradivari, Guarnerius and Amati. So I'm going to go into that world in Cremona. So yeah, I need to switch back into violin mode with this channel. Violin pilgrimage mode. But yeah, maybe one or two or three episodes left of these farm routes. And then hopefully I've done my bit to promote awareness of farm shops, to encourage people to go and check them out. Because as you would have seen from some of my episodes, they really are nice little trips out. And in some cases very beautiful farms you can go and see. Saying that, I may just be tempted to do another attempt at the Hall Park, because that is so local to me, and I managed to mess up the first video over there with audio problems again. Story of my life. So maybe there'll be a 13 or 14. We'll see. But it's been fun doing this little series. I've managed to check out most of the major ones near to where I am. And if anything, it's going to be a good point of reference back for me to be able to say, right, okay, yeah, that farm shop, I went there, what was it all about? Have a quick look on my video, remind myself. Yes, I do think this is taking me on the M6, probably the M6 and the M1. So I'll be glad for coming back via Tamworth, because I think it will take me a different route back. Probably should have planned this a bit better to avoid motorway. Never mind. I always say that I should have planned it better to avoid the motorway, and then when I get on the motorway I'm kind of glad that I'm on there to get a bit of high speed experience. It's kind of a different ball game when you're on the motorway. It's got to be that much more alert, really. Although you don't have like twisties to worry about. Yeah, that would be good for me to finally get my my head in gear, or get my act together to go touring in Europe and go hit the German autobahn. That'd be fantastic. Trouble is, I think for that, ideally you want to do it with some mates, really, and some of my mates have been touring abroad in the past, so it remains a possibility. And in more recent times, I did the Northwest 500 Scottish tour. It's another thing I'd love to do. If I did that, I could do tons of farm shops the whole route. But yeah, touring in Europe, I've never done it yet, I'm ashamed to say. But I could just go through on my own, like Baron von Grumble style, well, not quite Itchy Boots style. That's a bit too hardcore for me, I think. Yeah, she's pretty awesome though. Yeah, it's taking me north on the M6, looks like. Or is it? Or maybe it's taking me south to Junction 2, then across to the M69, then across to Leicester. Yeah, saying I should have double checked my tyre pressure, so I will make it my goal to do that before my next journey. Probably have to clean the bike when I get home, so maybe I'll do it then. So yeah, do feel free to fast forward to the farm. I'll leave a marker in the description so you can get there quick, because this next bit's going to be a bit boring. I don't know how much of it will make the final cut. So what's the future is really that we fight to keep our farms, and do that by supporting them and spreading awareness of organic food, and just put a stop to this global takeover of everything being owned by a few multinationals who have a complete monopoly, have no moral scruples at all, and who want you fed GMO, mRNA, pesticide laden, and you can't even call it food, just cardboard. all the while it's all fueling the cancer industry as well, which is an industry. There's more people make money from it than die from it, is what I'm hearing. And you are what you eat, and you know, people just are, they're just not drawing the link between food, diet, and cancer and heart disease. Right. So yeah, I hope this little series, I've played my part to promote the awareness of if he pulls over I'm dead, so I better step on it. Yeah, promote the awareness of the local farmers, farm shops, and I might have been wiser to pack my rain gear on this trip. I haven't. It's funny because on the last trip to Clarkson's farm, I got what I thought was like 3/4 of the way there, and then as it happens I was probably only just over halfway there, but I was already on the edges of the Cotswolds. And I thought, right, because it was a freezing morning, and I'd left first thing 7 o'clock I left, because that shop opened at 8 even on Good Friday. So I had all the rain gear on top of my levers, and the balaclava and the waterproof mittens on top of my gloves. I thought I'll pull over and take all that paraphernalia off and switch my GoPro camera on, start filming, thinking it's easier. Well, it is easier to manoeuvre your bike when you haven't got all that stuff on. But then of course within about 5 minutes of setting up again, it started tipping it with rain, and all that audio sadly got lost because of my microphone foam. I've got to say, my leather jacket and trousers, it was raining hard, but my gear kept me reasonably dry until I managed to make it to the Dalesford farm and dry off a bit. Oh, I like this kind of dual view on my sat-nav, kind of street view. Pushed the limit of my GoPro up even further now, so I still don't know if it's going to cut the speedometer and just catch the top of my windshield, which is what I want, and but not too high. So I pushed it almost as high as it could go without short of touching my crash hat. So hopefully the images come out alright. They'll be SD though. This will be large file size today. So let's get over to Leicestershire now on this M69 motorway. Take it nice and steady, and check out this farm shop. Like I say, I would have killed 2 birds with 1 stone today, but the manor farm is definitely closed, not open again until Wednesday, I don't think. Doing 69 on the M69. boring route. There must be a nicer route through the sticks, but almost certainly I'll be coming back a different way. And I've noticed that my sat-nav by default never seems to take me back the same way, which is cool. Since I watched that Ferrari film, it's freaks me out a bit about cat eyes, although I think cat eyes probably were a bit different back then to now, but I've just gone over one. So a bit of a nightmare if you got a puncture on the motorway, to say the least. So let's hope I haven't. I think you'd know about it pretty soon. Yeah, nice Leicestershire countryside here. Or approaching Leicestershire if I'm not there already. And yeah, it's just all farms all around. If anything, the government should be helping more farmers to come about, providing incentives instead of trying to shut them down. I heard that in Holland, I haven't verified this, but this was the information that was going around, was that the Dutch government were forced closing farms, supposedly for their net zero climate agenda. And then on the farmland that the government was buying, they were building high-rise blocks of flats to house all of the illegal immigrants that they had purposely allowed it to flood into the country. I have heard in the UK the laws are starting to change now on that, maybe because the politicians are realising they're just not going to get the votes. I think even descendants of immigrants like me, in a sense, my mum anyway came from Cyprus, even they don't want the doors wide open. I mean, I'm not really taking side in the issue. I'm not saying it's wrong, what's is right or wrong, although common sense would dictate that there's only so much that the country can take, and there's only so much a government can put your tax up and inflation up to raise the billions and billions that's required to put these people in hotels. But as I was saying, things are changing because there's a Nigerian family I know, friends of ours, and they're nice people, but they came over here kind of rough and ready fashion, really. The husband came, managed to find a place, they managed to get his wife and kids here. Kids speak really good English, amazing. They learned to speak that well in Africa. Like, they haven't got Nigerian accents or anything, the kids. The parents have. And now the man at the house he's got a job. Kids are in school. His wife's got a job. But they're going to have to go home in 2 months unless they can get a sponsorship. So he's really stressed out. But he took a big risk coming here like that, really. But he's fed up with Nigeria, that's for sure. But really, it's not people like him that are the problem. It's the sort of boatloads of men that come over who, and some of them from ISIS places as well, and they haven't got any family with them. They're not refugees. otherwise they wouldn't be leaving their wives and kids behind. And then they're like trashing up. I've seen video footage of this. They're not happy with their accommodation, so they trash it up and they start fights with each other. And then they get given mobile phones, and in America they do anyway. They're housed whilst you've got homeless British women on the streets who are not given priority for housing. It's all messed up. It's all the globalist plan, really, is what some people say. It's all planned, and you know, I know it's difficult for politicians to, some llamas over there, to resolve all these issues, but yeah, deporting the honest, hard-working Nigerian man and his family, where the husband and wife are both working, but keeping the ISIS terrorist guy, who's at the taxpayer's expense in a hotel, does seem a bit messed up, doesn't it? So yeah, it just makes you wonder what games they're playing at, really. What are they trying to do? What is their agenda exactly? More and more people are getting their eyes opened, and you know, cancelling farming is not going to be the solution. Probably the best time for farming would have been in this country during World War II, maybe World War I, but definitely World War II, and a great time for homesteading as well. The farmers would have been in many cases exempt from going to fights till maybe they got enough women to go and work on the farms, and because of rationing everyone was encouraged to have an allotment, growing spuds in their garden. The health of the nation was probably at its all-time high because of rationing. It had quite a positive, unexpected positive effect. There wasn't malnutrition, fortunately, so the health of people was better. And you look at men and women of that generation, even as recently as like 1970, and you look at pictures of people on the beach, not one fat person on the whole picture. Forward wind to today, they're like 70% of people are obese. People on the beach, probably exaggerating a bit. There's a meme like that. So that was when the country absolutely needed its farms, and would have been much better produce, I think. Must have been more organic. I don't know actually when the pesticides first came about, but you wouldn't have had like glyphosate back then. So obviously there was less cancer as well. Yeah. Yeah, I really wish I'd planned this route now to avoid the motorway. I don't know if this is going to kind of take me through Leicester or around the outskirts. We shall see. But yeah, even look at that tractor. I don't know if you can see it from my GoPro. Even on a bank holiday Monday, these guys are out there working. They work jolly hard. They're tied to their land. I can understand why some will throw in the towel and just sell the land. It's sad when that happens, when a farm passes out of the hands of a family that's been in for generations and is handed over to someone else, but you hope that it's another farmer. Maybe one solution is for more Jeremy Clarksons to buy into farming. So people that have made their money, their millions, rich celebrities, rich people, maybe some of the billionaires, the entrepreneurs, buy a farm and blow your money on that, and employ a load of people to come and work on it. There's loads of people employed by Jeremy Clarkson. I saw them. Yeah, young people, good-looking young people working there, which is great. He's providing the local youngsters in the, I guess, Chipping Norton area with some part-time work, or full-time, some of them maybe. They're all there opening up the Diddley Squat farm from about 8:30, getting everything ready, unloading stuff, getting everything organised. Because I was early, I was watching them all preparing the shop for finally swinging open the shop doors at 9:30. This was Bank Holiday Friday. You can see my video on that. Messed up audio, so I had to use like music, music and engine noise. Yeah. .21, we've lost a minute on the journey, probably because I've not been really bringing the bike up to speed limit enough. It's a little bit windy today. Not so bad as some of the other days. The previous weekend when I went down to Milton Keynes was terrible. Very bad wind. You know it's bad when you can feel yourself getting pushed towards the side of the road, towards a ditch. Anyhow, we're coming to the end of this motorway, I'm happy to say. And we're heading through Leicestershire. I like it, I've got this dual view on my sat-nav. I don't know how I've done it. It's giving me the road and the map together. And it's going to want me to go left here. So left we shall go. And you know what, it's looking very grey all of a sudden. Okay, is it wanting me to go on the M1? Yeah. More motorway then. So I guess I've probably got to do a junction or two on the M1. Ah. That's annoying. So be it. The most boring footage is, of all my farm shop Odyssey, has got to be this one. Until we get close to the farm and it'll get a bit more interesting. Yeah, it's not too bad, but it's not looking great on the way back, is it? That traffic. Very busy on the way back, not so bad this way. And yeah, it's been a few months since I've been on the motorway, so it's fine. I'm not in any particular rush either. Just take it nice and steady. It's actually getting a little bit busier. So I'm going to take this very slow bulk delivery truck. Now then, don't exactly know which exit it wants me on. Come off. Got a very fast biker coming up in the fast lane. I'll try not to catch his number plate. Yeah, he's really going for it. okay, 21A is where we're coming off, so that's just literally a junction. That's cool. And then we'll shoot over across to the Pigs farm, organic farm. I wonder what's in store there. I know they sell, well, they have a very, very nice website, and I know they sell kind of veg and meat. I know they're a big supplier to farmers markets, which, let's face it, farmers market in London is where you're going to get the buyers for organic, isn't it? It's got to be. So it totally makes sense, and it's great, really. So, quite know where we're going here, but it looks like it's telling me to stay on the road, so on this road here. Yeah. So far so good. Yeah, and I see it, I think, taking me back out into the sticks shortly. So yeah, a bit of a mixed bag of roads on this trip. 1.9 miles it wants me to come off on the A something. 5630. My eyesight's getting worse. I probably need to go for an eye test. I think there's things you can do actually about that to with exercises and staring at things far away, like the Native Americans used to when they used to go out hunting, training your eye, because we're always staring 2 meters in front at a device, which is really quite terrible. What you want to do is when you're walking out and about, or I guess like trips like this, I should be looking ahead, miles ahead for potholes, is just train your eyes to stare further into the distance and focus on far away things, and just keep doing that throughout your day. Change your field of vision from staring at a device for 8 hours non-stop. Just get up, have a walk around and go and stare at something in the distance. Yeah, it's supposed to be good. It's supposed to be good for your eyes, you know. Let these vehicles get out. Maybe do a little bit of overtaking here. Although I am coming off soon, so I need to watch out. Yeah. Alright, there's our A5 630, I think I read that correctly. And we've still only lost 1 minute on the journey, so it's not too bad. That was just due to me being a bit slow on the motorway, right? Not motorway, but the dual carriageway before it. Going right here towards Leicester. I don't know how much of Leicester we're actually gonna touch, or if we managed to avoid it. I was in Leicester recently, actually. We went to the Space Centre, which is interesting, and we went to the Indian Road in Leicester, where all the Indian shops and restaurants are. We did struggle to find a decent restaurant. I don't know why, because there's supposed to be like loads of really good places to eat in Leicester. We struggled a bit on that main road until we finally found a fairly good place. Okay, so any speed limits up here? Where does it want me to go? Straight over. Coming into 40 zone, so yeah, we're actually coming into Leicester. Yeah, I kind of would like to avoid the town centre if at all possible. I've got no flipping idea. So, as usual, I didn't really bother to check the route beforehand. Back in the olden days, before sat-navs, this would all be like... Does it want me to go left? It does want me to go left, doesn't it? And yet it's saying second exit, so I don't understand that. Ah, no, I've come left too soon. Now I understand. Okay, it'll reroute me. That's fine. Oh, I've got a terrible itch inside my crash hat. Okay, we'll go right up here. Orwell Drive. Just got a slight bit of pins and needles in my foot. Let's have a little stretch. So yeah, Leicester's cool for Indian type shopping. Not my real idea of a day out. I think you can do something similar at the Soho Road, although I've seen a couple of like the Wendell type videos, Backpacker Ben type videos seem to suggest that the Soho Road is a bit dangerous in Birmingham. And then there's the Southall. If you want to go on a kind of a British Asian Little India journey, I wouldn't do it on a bike, of course. I wouldn't really want to do it on a bike. But yeah, it's not really my cup of tea. I'd sooner go to India itself. And plus I can go to my local Fosal Road in Coventry, where my wife's grandparents lived for 60 years without ever learning a single word of English. Our wife's grandfather worked in a foundry. He was a tough old boy, and he swore by his can of Guinness, and he lived into his 90s, and you know what? He never went to the doctors. He loathed doctors. He totally mistrusted the doctors, and I can see why, because he was, although he didn't speak English, he's wise enough to know that as soon as you go there, they're going to find things to diagnose you with after a certain age, and then so that you're then on medication till you die, because it's a business, folks. Do you get it yet? I'm not knocking everything they do, but that is my overall cynical view of it, that GPs are really sales reps for the drug companies, and if you're over 60, they'll find something to diagnose you with. You're better off not going. But I shouldn't say that, because I shouldn't give medical advice. But that's certainly what my wife's granddad didn't do. I don't think he was on a single pill, that guy, that old boy. As far as I know, maybe right towards the end. And all he ate was a bowl of dal, like a bowl of lentils a day, and a few biscuits. And, you know, he used to go to the market. Now, I don't think he bought organic stuff particularly, but he would walk to the market in his 80s, and then he would walk to my wife's mum's house and take her fresh cauliflowers and things. So that's the key. Now he lived to his early mid-90s, this old boy, and had his own teeth in his mouth. He was a bit of a stinky old man. He didn't wash or bath much, but I liked him. I liked them because although they were a very sort of, should we say, I don't know if they could read or write. They were uneducated, really, and didn't learn English in, 60 years in England. Was it 60 years or was it in the 60s he came here? Something like that. A long time here. I don't know where the hell I'm supposed to go here. Damn. I think I've taken the wrong bit. Yeah, so it's got to reroute me again. I don't quite know where I'm going, folks. What was I trying to say? Oh yeah, despite the fact they were, let's say, very traditional Indian elderly people, they still accepted me as an outsider. There was no problem there. Yeah, it's taking me back on that dual carriageway thing, which I shouldn't have exited from. And that's added another minute to my journey. And yeah, simple eating, just eating protein, lentils. That wouldn't work for me, but eating small amounts is the thing, isn't it? All the people that live a long time, they stop eating just before they feel full. The Japanese are like that in these Japanese blue zones. And there's a lot to be said for it, for that and longevity. And most people find it really hard. I find it hard. I like to go back for a second plate, but it's a mistake. And also, mistake I make is my kids waste a lot of food, and I don't like it being wasted, so I'll sometimes finish off bits of their food. But that's a mistake. You know, it's going to go in the sewer one way or the other, whether you throw it in the compost or you compost it inside your intestines, throw it down the sewer. So yeah, again, my wife's grandparents did not eat a lot at all. They had one bowl of lentils a day, and this is how the Viet Cong kicked the Americans' butts. One bowl of rice a day, with the Americans walking onto the battlefield with burger and fries in their hands, getting their butts whipped. So yeah, that's something I'm trying to do, is reduce portions. I have actually been finding it easier of late, and you're going to keep your weight down. Another thing I struggle with is I don't chew my food well enough. That's something I am conscious of, and I do need to improve on. I'm not like my old man. I'm not like my dad. He used to chew every spoon of food like 100 times. Really weird. He had some kind of problems with his guts when he was a kid, so he figured that he would have to chew everything like until it was liquid. And he would be at a party, like, and everybody would have finished all their food and cleared away and started hitting the dance floor. He'd still be sitting there chewing. And he used to make these miso sandwiches. He was quite macrobiotic before he lost the plot. He's a drunk anyway, but he did know about kind of healthy meat eating. To be fair, I think he kind of got my mum into macrobiotic and vegetarian back in the 70s, early 70s. But I don't think this is a problem. People don't see it through. They don't really stick to it themselves. Yeah. So he used to make these miso sandwiches. How he clocked onto the macrobiotic kind of Japanese style foods, millet, yeah, miso. He also used to know. Okay, it's just taking me back on myself. This stupid route. He also used to know about the Native Americans before Hollywood. You know, in the days when the Indians were the bad people, was being shot up by John Wayne. Way before Dances with Wolves came out, he knew all about that. But anyway, he took these miso sandwiches to work one day, and I guess he was chewing them. This wants me to go back. And one of the guys at work ripped it out of him and said, "You're eating SHIT sandwiches, he goes. I may as well turn around here. And so my dad, in front of the guy, spat, and I think this guy was saying the same thing to him every day. You're eating it, SHIT sandwiches, day after day. Having your shit sandwiches again, pardon my French. And then one day, my dad, he spat the sandwich out into his lunchbox, and then sucked the whole thing back in his mouth, and carried on eating it in front of this guy. And the guy never said it again. Never said it again to him. Yeah, so I turned left too early here. This is kind of like the antithesis of a farm. Being stuck in this place. So where am I going? 80 yards? Yeah, down here. Bark by Thorpe Road. But yeah, Leicester's a big place. They have the really big Diwali festival here. I used to work for some Asian people, and the lady's grandma used to switch the lights on for the Diwali here in Leicester. So it's a big place, but I guarantee it won't take too long to get out in the sticks, because do you know what? The flag, we're very near the farm shop. I can see the flag already. So maybe this is more of a, similar to the one I visited in Nuneaton, that was kind of a you know, a farm in the middle of the town. I don't know. I can see the flag, which suggests I'm very, very near to my destination now. Okay. Yeah, we are out in sticks almost again. Not quite. Have to be careful because it's not familiar. Yeah, here we are. We're out in the sticks again. But here the housing is starting to encroach a little, but that's how quick you're back out in the country. You only have to fly over it in a plane to realise there's plenty of space, but we still can't take all the illegal immigrants in that want to come. Just not very cost effective for the taxpayer. There is a wheelie saying on this MT-09. I've got wheelies switched off, but if you enable it, it becomes a mental wheelie bike, this MT-09. And you can see it on YouTube. If you search for MT-09, Yamaha MT-09, you'll see them absolutely crazy nutcases riding down the motorway, doing a wheelie for miles, even twisting their handlebars and everything. But yeah, I'm a bit of a chicken. I haven't switched that on. Now, sometimes I think to myself, yeah, it'd be fun to try a wheelie, but just play it too safe. Okay, now this is the Roots Farm Shop. So, you know, worst case, if the Pix Farm Shop is closed, Thorpe Park, I could come back here. So we're near the Thorpe Park. Interesting. Yeah, Pix Organic. I see it signed now. Thank you, sir. Okay. So the Roots is the Roots part of the Pix. Closed. Okay. This farm shop is closed. There's llamas there. So that's not my destination anyway, but that's another idea. Looks quite nice, doesn't it? Thorpe Farm. Okay. And yeah, so just on the outskirts of Leicester, shall we say. So let's go and see if the Pix is open. If it's not open, it's not the end of the world. It is Bank Holiday Monday. So farmers deserve some time off, really. At least I could have showed you where it is, where the farm is, and will give me an excuse to come back another day, I guess. But with a bit of luck, we'll be open. And you know what? Maybe there could even be some coffee on the go. So, I think it's here. They got the right idea, which is to have a signpost on the main road, try and catch people's attention. But yeah, lots of new housing coming up. So far, the weather's been merciful. I've not been rained on yet much. Not too much. Which I'm grateful for. Right, so is this our Pix farm now? Yay, organic butchers. Logs, coal and kindling. This is awesome. And here we are. Pix Organic, but it's closed, I think. Is it closed? Yeah, it's closed, but you get to see where it is. Get to see where it is at least. It's a shame. It's closed. But let's ride past it and see if we can take a few shots from the helmet cameras. Okay, they have a tea room there. Venison, yeah. Pasteurised milk. Get a little view of the place. And it's a shame it's closed, but it is a risk I took coming here on a bank holiday. So now we need to get over to our next place.